I come to the floor today to speak on behalf of the acting administrator of the Federal Railroad Administration, which is no longer acting, but our administrator, and my friend Sarah Feinberg. As a native West Virginian, she has the same pragmatic approach to problem solving that you see among our congressional delegation every day. In West Virginia, when it comes to politics, it really doesn't matter whether you're a Democrat or Republican, but what matters is if you can get the job done. During my time in the state legislature, her father and I, Lee Feinberg, served together, and Lee at that time was head of the West Virginia government's Ethics Commission. He instilled in her the same sense of moral responsibility that led him into public service also. Today she sits before the United States Senate, and she was seeking to continue public service as administrator of the Federal Railroad Administration, which I'm so pleased that that has happened. Over the past 9 months, I believe she has proven herself to be an effective and engaged leader with the courage to make tough decisions and the character to accept criticism that they often cite. She was baptized by fire after being appointed to this position on January 9th of this year, leading the agency's response to 5 major incidents within her first 60 days at the helm. On February the 3rd, 6 people were killed when a commuter train hit an SUV at a grade crossing in Valhalla, New York. On February the 4th, 14 tank cars carrying ethanol derailed just north of Dubuque, Iowa. 3 of them caught fire. On February the 16th, 27 tank cars derailed outside Mount Carbon, West Virginia. They released 378,000 gallons of crude oil and ignited a fire that destroyed a nearby house. On February 24th, a commuter train in Oxnard, California hit a tractor trailer at a grade crossing and jumped the tracks. And on March the 6th, 21 cars derailed outside of Galena, Illinois, near the border with Wisconsin. 5 of them caught fire. I'm a firm believer that elected officials need to be on the ground in emergency situations, supporting first responders and assisting those in need, and I was impressed by Ms. Feinberg's response to the Mount Carbon derailment in West Virginia, which I was there firsthand to watch. 5 weeks into her new job, she executed an efficient and effective federal response that was one of the best I've ever seen in my experience as an elected official and a public servant. There are a lot of smart policy people here in Washington, D.C., but the best policy in the world won't mean a thing if it doesn't translate into anything in the real world. Sarah's response to the Mount Carbon accident showed me that she understood that and gave me faith in her ability not to just lead, but to listen to the people that we're here to serve. Over the past 10 years, the increase in domestic energy production has been an engine of economic growth, and the Energy Information Agency predicts that growth to continue through 2020. From 2009 until 2014, crude oil production in the United States increased by more than 62%, up from 5.35 million barrels per day in 2009 to 8.68 million barrels per day in 2014. And the majority of this product is moving by rail. In 2008, our railroads moved a meager 9,500 tank cars carrying crude oil. Last year, the number grew to 500,000 tank cars, a 5,000% increase, which is unbelievable. Unprecedented new challenges come along with the new economic opportunities presented by the growth in domestic energy production, and Ms. Feinberg's experience makes her uniquely qualified to lead the FRA through this transition. As Chief of Staff to Secretary Fox, she helped the Department of Transportation develop a holistic strategy to improving the safety and security of crude by rail that required coordination between multiple administrations within the department. The tough new tank car safety regulations that were finalized in May were dependent on close collaboration between the FRA and the Pipeline and Hazardous Materials Safety Administration. Sarah's experience in the Secretary's office and existing relationships throughout the department allowed her to cut through red tape and get the right people in the room to get the job done. While the new rules do not solve every problem, they represent a major step in the right direction. They satisfied all or part of 10 outstanding National Transportation Safety Board recommendations, including all 4 recommendations that were made in April of this year. Since taking the helm at the FRA earlier this year, I have been very much impressed with Ms. Feinberg's willingness to tackle difficult issues and engage stakeholders about realistic solutions. In May, she convened the Positive Train Control Task Force to try to identify opportunities for the FRA to help railroads meet their 2015 deadline and become a real part in this process. I think her proactive approach to problem solving will be an asset to the FRA and the entire Department of Transportation. I thank Chairman Thune and Ranking Member Nelson for moving her nomination through the committee yesterday on a strong bipartisan vote of 19-1. So I want to thank all of my colleagues for not only nominating Sarah, but confirming her today. I think she'll be a great asset to our country and do us all proud. Mr. President, I yield the floor.